Well, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody is staying safe, and I hope everybody has their consent form signed up, and so we can get this pandemic behind us. Anyway, we'll get going tonight with the open session. To have approval of the agenda. Any disclosures of interest? Seeing none, we do have a delegation tonight. Nathan, you want to introduce them?
Yes, looks like we may proceed, if you don't mind just introducing to the public.
Sorry, I had a difficult time hearing that.
Oh, please proceed.
Oh, thanks. Okay. So my name is Catherine, and I'm here with my colleague Kevin. We wanted to come in today to just give the town council an update about our planned Marathon Palladium project. I think most of you have probably heard of the project or are aware of it. It dates back more than 10 years, and it's really been revitalized in the past couple of years now. So thanks very much for having us. Like I said, my name is Catherine. My focus and background is on environmental sciences and permitting, and my colleague Kevin here. I'll let you introduce yourself, Kevin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin, and I work with Generation Mining on this project. My focus is on community relations, and I've been doing that for quite a while now, not just with Generation, but with other groups as well. It's a great pleasure to be here this evening, and please, however it's set up, we'll be happy to field any questions you have. Thank you.
So I just put together a brief presentation to give an introduction about who we are, what is the need for the project, and then provide a brief overview of what is the project, what's the project timeline, and where are we in our permitting process. So Generation Mining, like I said, purchased the Marathon project back in 2014. It had been ongoing for quite a while before that, but after 2014, they did some extra exploration and evaluation, restarted the environmental assessment, and are now moving forward with the project. So Generation PGM, it's a very small but experienced company. There's less than 10 full-time permanent employees with the company. Myself and Kevin are working for them as consultants. They hit a milestone recently this spring when the feasibility study was published in March, showing that the project could be undertaken economically. And then another major milestone that we just reached was submitting the environmental impact statement addendum in April 2021, so just last month. Why do we need the project? The project would bring palladium and copper are the two key metals that would be processed there. Palladium, if you look at the price of palladium, it's increased a lot recently, and that's due to an insufficient global supply, as well as the increased importance of palladium in auto manufacturing and vehicle exhaust systems. So copper, I think, is another metal that people are a little bit more familiar with, but it also plays an important role in green technologies. And this project would provide a significant source of copper. So what is the project? It's a planned open pit mine, which would include a processing facility, and produce concentrates of palladium and copper, which would then be shipped off-site for smelting and refining. The site construction would take about 18 to 24 months with a maximum predicted workforce of about 900 people and an average about 450 to 500 people. We're planning for production and operations to begin in 2023, and that would include a full-time permanent operating workforce of about 375 people. Permanent in the way that the mine is expected to be in operations for about 12 to 14 years. So over the time, you've seen the perhaps as local people, you've seen in the past, and then the project design, and then you've seen a new one here. It's really been optimized and taken a second look at the proposed design of the project to ensure that the environment's protected, and especially around water, air, and fish and species at risk. So here I'm sharing with you on the left is the map that outlines the general arrangement of the project. Again, it's open pit that would include 3 open pits, north, center, and south pit. It would also include a mine rock storage area directly to the east of the pits, as well as a stockpile that would be to the west of the central pit. A conveyor from the stockpile would bring the ore to the processing facility, which is located here around the center of the map. And then the processed solids, or tailings, as some people would know them, would be sent to this processed solids management facility. All the water would be collected and sent to a central location of this water management pond. And then from the water management pond, the plan would be to have a water treatment plant, which would then allow for discharge into the Hare Lake, the local lake here that's, my apologies, is slightly cut off to the west of this figure. So it includes as well a new transmission line bringing power from the north here of about 2 kilometers, and then a new access road that's linking it up to the highway in a more direct route than the existing road. Was there any question, or we'll do the questions after. So as I mentioned, the timeline, this is just showing a real summary of it, but we've met some key milestones recently, including that feasibility study that I talked about, and undertaking a lot of the environmental assessment, also known as the Environmental Impact Statement, or EIS, that was completed in April 2021, which started the JRP, which is called the Joint Review Panel. And that's joint between the federal and provincial government. They're reviewing the EIS, and they'll be determining whether the project will be allowed to be constructed. Now, after even that decision, we'll have to do additional financing and permitting, but we're hoping that construction, like I said, would begin in 2022 potentially, and then operations in 2023. So the reports, all the environmental reports are available for your review and comment. Volume 1 has been available since January. Volume 2 is available since April. And those 2 volumes that make up the environmental impact statement are being reviewed by, like I said, by the joint panel. And they'll be opening it up, this review, to public hearings and to hear from communities. We're expecting that to take place potentially in the fall of 2021. Right now, at this moment, since April 21st till June 27th, we're in a public comment period about this environmental impact statement. And so one reason that we wanted to come here was to invite you to provide your comments directly to the joint panel. If you have comments specifically, of course, for us, we're interested, we're hoping that you would like to show local support for this planned project. And we're trying to keep this information available on our website, and then we also summarize it every 1 or 2 weeks. I hope maybe some of you have seen in the local newspapers, we're doing different topics in plain language just to continue to keep people informed. So that, oh, I'm sorry, that's my dog. So that's it for my, not my tongue, that's my dog. There you go. That's it for my presentation. I know it was quick, but I thank you very much for your time and interest, and I welcome comments. We have a lot of information if you're interested in specifics, documentation, or I'll try, myself and my colleague Kevin would be happy to try and answer any questions you have at this time as well.
Okay. Any questions from council?
Actually, nothing right now.
I have one question. I just have one on the employees. Where will they be housed?
It's quite close to the town of Marathon, so the expectation would be that approximately half of them would be housed at the site, and then the other half would be local enough that they'd be able to commute or stay in Marathon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So would it be okay if I reach out, me or Kevin, if we reach out again to Nathan and just, or potentially your assistant, to just check in about the logistics of providing comments to the panel?
Yes, absolutely. You can reach out to me at any time.
Okay.
And if you do receive feedback on this presentation with comments, we'd very much like to hear them.
Absolutely.
This is a reasonable sized project, and people are bound to have comments as we get closer to the end of the consultation period. So please do let us know, and we're very happy to address those.
Okay. Well, Catherine, Kevin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again for your time.
Okay, thank you.
so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Don't like the mood lighting?
I don't care about how much the public can see for. It's easier on the eyes, eh?
Where exactly would that facility be in regards to the town of Marathon itself?
By the looks of it, just east of it.
East,
Yeah, that's what I got out of it.
like south of the highway, north of the highway?
North of the highway, because that road is going.
What did they say the name of that lake was? Hare Lake or?
Yeah.
I have no idea where that is.
Yeah. They mentioned possible rail transportation, so, you know, or how that would go down.
Okay, we'll move on with the rest of the meeting then. Minutes of previous meeting. Resolution 143-21, moved by Councillor Sales, seconded by Councillor Stafuric, that the minutes of the Council and Committee of the Whole meeting held May 11th, 2021 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Carried. Business arising from the minutes. Resolution 144-21, moved by Councillor Sales, seconded by Councillor Stefuric, that whereas on April 19th, 2021, the Northwestern Ontario Municipal Association wrote the Honorable Ross Romano, Minister of Colleges and Universities, informing him of NOMA's concern with respect to his decision to dissolve the partnership between the Northern Ontario School of Medicine and Lakehead and Laurentian universities due to the fact that there is a desperate shortage of physicians and healthcare professionals in Northwestern Ontario, and therefore the need to procure and retain skilled physicians that can respond to unique and beautiful healthcare needs of northern communities is of vital importance that would translate to life saved. And whereas NOMA is strongly opposed to the decision made by the government to sever these institutions and is requesting that the minister reconsider this decision and further to seek consultations prior to making decisions in the future. Therefore, it be resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Schreiber supports NOMA in its efforts to have the minister reconsider his decision and to not dissolve the partnership between NOSH and Lakehead and Laurentian universities. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 145-21, moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that bylaw 17-2021 being a bylaw to adopt a high school bursary policy and to rescind bylaw 7-2017 be given first, second, and third and final reading and enacted. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, we'll move into the committee of the whole portion of the meeting, department reports and committee board minutes. Director of Operation report.
there's quite a bit things going on. Is there any questions for Red?
Thought we were going with the guy for the back of the building.
What's that?
I thought we were going with that. Did we not say we were going with that original quote? Or did we just say that was a good price?
I think we said it was a good price,
Okay.
because right now.
So you're getting another price? Though.
Yeah, we get one more price.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you getting another price on the water line, or not the water line, the dam too, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I was just gonna ask, how's that dechlor going at the wastewater?
It's supposed to be working okay, is what I'm being told.
Okay, good, no, that's good. Okay, number 2, the substance survey for the town buildings.
There's a recommendation here from the Director of Operations that Council of the Township of Schreiber hire Pinchin Limited of Thunder Bay to conduct a designated substance survey on the buildings for the fee of $14,400 plus applicable taxes.
Is there any discussion on that?
That involves 4 separate properties there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is basically a normal procedure,
Yes.
I would think.
They have to check for asbestos in the building.
Yeah, right.
Regulations.
Why is theirs so much cheaper?
What's that, Dave?
Why is theirs so
Well-
much cheaper? Like the other ones are almost twice as much. Is this company?
Yeah, how does this company
I think Dan's thinking the same.
They are a legitimate company, and they've been in this kind of business for quite a while. They're
Okay.
the kind of go-to company for kind of any sort of building, environmental surveys or needs.
Okay.
Red, is there anything particularly that was different from their
Their company
compared to the competitors?
based out of southern Ontario, so their prices may differ just because they're using their rates.
Right. Could be location that may have been a factor, but.
Gotcha. Okay.
So everybody's okay with the recommendation then?
Yep.
Yeah,
Dan? Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Number 3, Director of Operations, streetlight.
Director of Operations at this time recommends that Council of the Township of Scriber do not install a new light at this location. Oh, he said that, yeah, do not install a light at this location.
You've been out to check it out, and we still haven't got a whole price on it yet, eh, Red?
That's right, we're waiting for a quote to may change depending on the price.
Okay, thanks. Okay, number 4, project status updates.
So in terms of the mural project, we received submissions from 9 artists, and we have ultimately 10 pieces to choose, so that makes it a bit easier for us when it comes to the selection of the pieces. We can do 1 piece for each artist. We're still reviewing locations of where to place the art, and ultimately we will be providing the concepts to council so you can take a look prior to fabrication. So that will be the next step. We'll show you what it will look like before we actually get it fabricated. The interpretive planners, in terms of that, they're aiming to be on site June 10th, and they're estimating it will take anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks for the installation of all the exhibitry at the museum. In terms of the investment attraction tender, we received 4 bids, and Dominic's currently completing the evaluation. The downtown revitalization project, update here is, again, the lowest bid we got on the tender was about 1.5 million, and this is far over the project budget, and this is again for phase 1 at the time, which was just for the pavilion alone. Obviously the direction that we're suggesting now, in order to stay on budget, is to focus on the landscaping with the pavilion moved into phase 2. So we're rearranging the phases. Now phase 1 will be to focus on the landscaping splash pad while at playground, while phase 2 will focus on the pavilion. And that way we'd be able to stay on our budget with what we're aiming for this project. What we're suggesting in the space for the pavilion is just a paved town square on site of the pavilion at this time, in order to get the appearance of an outdoor courtyard with movable outdoor furniture. This will allow us to, essentially we have the diagrams for the pavilion, and should funding be available, we would be able to use these engineered documents in order to have a shovel-ready project and move very quickly when funding does become available for it. And in terms of next steps, the landscape architect is looking at specifying an upgraded splash pad fixtures, and engineers also need to look at connecting the electrical to the existing washroom on site, as well as looking at additional civil work. So we're awaiting change orders for the updated drawings and tender. This is again from the landscape architect and from the engineers. Is there any questions?
Can we get back to the mural project for a second? It just says here with more than 10 art pieces to choose from.
Yep.
So how many are to be chosen? That's my question.
10.
10. It's ultimately 10. There were some artists that did multiple submissions. Again, the direction that I would recommend is to choose one artist for each art piece. All of the submissions that I've seen were excellent, so we will present it. We will present everything to council in order for you to see, so you'll know what's being put up. We're just right now we're trying to get the renderings to show the title and the name. We want to show exactly what you'd be getting should the mural be put up. So we're just working on that graphic element.
We're okay with the phase 2, which now phase 2 part of the project going forward.
I think it's great.
Yeah, me too.
Fine.
Yeah, that's the way to go for now.
You know, we were expecting, you know, by separating the project to phase 1 and phase 2, that we would get a more affordable, basically a rate that would be on budget, and ultimately the way that the cost for lumber and steel, the way it's at, you know, this building is just going substantially over what we projected. It's really crazy right now. So
Unless you were started building already, man, I wouldn't. You can't commit to building now. Like, I guess we had to see it, or I had to see it, whatever. The prices are outrageous.
Crazy.
we thought like the price would come down, and it went up just for the pavilion alone. So
Yeah, it was.
It went up quite a bit, didn't it?
Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
So we still would be sodding, et cetera.
Yes, exactly.
yeah,
Nothing's good, it's gonna look like nothing's missing, like, what we're saying in order where that pavilion is we'll actually put pavers and everything there, so,
Yeah,
you know, you'll have something, you'll have a nice site there,
Right.
and then meanwhile, we'll have engineered documents ready to go should we have grant funding in the future.
mhm.
okay, number 5. Discovery Center opening.
So the recommendation from the Community Economic Development Manager is that the Township of Schreiber have the grand opening of the Scriber Discovery Center occur in July 2022, and not to proceed with any type of soft opening in 2021. This was to allow for a full experience and wow factor when unveiling the museum for the first time. And the concern from the Community Economic Development Manager was that a soft opening will mitigate major excitement that we're aiming for from residents and tourists. And the plan is to hold a major grand opening ceremony, which would be perfect for the 30th Heritage Day ceremony next year. In the meantime, what the CD manager is proposing is to post images and teasers from some of the media that has been created, which would allow us to create some hype before, you know, and before the unveiling. Any thoughts, perspectives on
Sounds
that?
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. The more excitement, the better.
Yeah.
Everybody's on board.
Yeah.
Number 6, the storage car.
Photo number 4 looks pretty bad.
Yeah, originally, when we got the quote for the storage car, this was done in winter, and when we went to get pricing on the bridge connection, it appeared to us in spring, it really did, we were quite surprised when we touched the material and it was actually soft. And at that point, we realized that it wasn't just a section of the wall that needed to be replaced, but the whole storage car. The water damage to the storage car is quite substantial, and ultimately, we had to look at change order in terms of, we haven't gone into a contract yet, but we had to look at a change in the quote that was provided. So obviously this quote is, double what we were anticipating before. And just so that council is aware, the portion of the project expenses that would be covered through, a portion of the project expenses will be covered through grant funding, but the Township of Scriber will ultimately have to contribute $11,281 out of the $19,450 for this project. So it's about 50-50. So the recommendation from the Community Economic Development Manager is that council accept the revised quote from Nesbitt Contracting of $19,454 to replace the storage car's exterior, interior, and to build a bridge to the museum car for storage capabilities.
And that 11,000 that we would be paying for would come out of.
That would be from taxpayer funding.
Gotcha.
The other, the other portion of that would be funded through province and
Yeah.
feds.
But would the 11,000 we budgeted for out of reserves somewhere, or?
Potentially you could get that money from a reserve, depending on, there is some money, I believe, in the community well-being fund, but we would have to look at
Yeah, I mean,
where that money could be coming from.
would be looked at for sure, though. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it's sitting up there, we gotta do it now.
gotta do it now.
The main thing, right, is everything there is refurbished and new, and the storage car obviously kind of distracts from what's a brand new,
Mhm.
museum building.
Okay.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, we're committed.
Okay. Number 7. Scriber Fitness Center.
The recommendation here is that Council of the Township of Schreiber accept Nesbit Contracting's proposal of $20,500 excluding applicable taxes to complete the construction work for the Scriber Fitness Center revitalization project. And I'll just explain the next two recommendations. It's ultimately about $50,000 in fitness center equipment expenses. We just have to split it into actually 2 different vendors, as they've partnered on that proposal. So it's 2 other recommendations here. That Council of the Township of Schreiber accept Free Motion's fitness quote of $40,519.60 to provide fitness equipment for the Scriber Fitness Center revitalization project, and the recommendation that Scriber accept Guy's fitness equipment quote of $8,865, excluding applicable taxes, to provide fitness equipment for the Scriber Fitness Center revitalization project.
I like how that company is offering all the extra stuff for our
Yep.
staff. That's
Yeah.
that's a huge deal, I think.
Yep.
That's great. So our rec staff would be the ones receiving that training or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think it's good. I mean, it's nice to see another local contractor getting another job. That's great. I like that. And the timeline is great.
And again, this is substantially provincially and federally funded,
Mm-hmm.
so. Just waiting for that contribution agreement. Well,
My next question.
we'll have to wait for that prior to us officially signing off on any contract, but yeah. We're anticipating that anytime soon.
Still haven't got it, eh?
I think it sounds good.
Okay, that cover all number 7, Nathan? Yeah, eh?
Yeah, just those recommendations there.
Okay, number 8, Beautification Committee meeting minutes. Pretty straightforward. We're having a hard time getting the baskets for the cemetery around the fence there. The coconut baskets. I think we're gonna end up buying some rolls of it from Walmart and then just cutting and fabricating it ourselves, however we gotta do it to make it fit.
Yeah, you should be able to cut that material so that when you put it in,
Yeah,
it's, on the surface all the way around.
yeah, it'll be, I mean, there's,
You don't have any of them at all?
no,
The previous ones, no?
no. I think there's 34 or 36. I figure by the 33rd one we'll get right on.
You're in charge?
Yeah, he's got the scissors.
Yeah, and then we talked about the Scriber Fund grounds and doing some work over there, but I was in discussion with Red today about about that, and we just gotta make up a timeline, and the union might be doing it. I'm not 100% sure yet. And that's about it for that for now. We're just waiting for it to get a little warmer.
Yeah, is that ever gonna happen?
Well, it should. We're hoping it does, and
Yeah.
okay, number 9, recreation minutes, May 19th.
I can speak to that.
Okay.
We had a good meeting, and we talked about, we did put out a digital winter carnival survey just to try to understand why the participation in the digital winter carnival wasn't responded to as well as we thought it would. And we had a few questions or asking, trying to improve our approach, and we didn't get much of a response. I think we only had one response, and that was from one of the committee members. So hard to figure out what the issues are, but we'll keep trying and trying to get some feedback.
That's all you can do.
I think it was posted on Facebook, and from what I understand, that's probably the best way to put it out there is on Facebook, but maybe there's something else we need to try. Upcoming events, I decided to try a geocaching project. Gonna buy a geocaching kit, put it out there on the Cascade Trail somewhere else from there with maybe a few more.
Yeah,
That's pretty popular. And Evan gave us a peek of of some of the stuff he's been working on the town website, especially the interactive map, which is pretty impressive. So good work on his part, and I think it's going to be
yeah, you're all breaking up, Dan.
Tour. Yeah, probably the internet down here not that great.
Okay.
But what part did? Okay.
Sorry about that. I guess we'll move on to the Scriber Fire Department activity report. Jan's at the back there if you got any questions.
Hey, Jan, just one question. Did we respond at base flat to the grass fire?
Yes, we did. We did go down there, and thankfully some locals had got it under control before we arrived, but we did take a trip down there.
Okay, what's the response time to get to base flat?
I believe the fastest we've ever been able to do it is about 20 minutes.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good.
That's not bad.
Did you use any equipment from the Rossport Fire Hall?
Not on that one, no. No, we
Okay.
we used Scribers and paste plats on that call.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Jan.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And I see you got one new member, and I don't know about the second one that you were looking at.
Yes, the second one that interviewed at the start of this month was hired as well. So that's coming along nicely.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Okay, number 11. Water and wastewater monthly operations report. Number 12, Scriber water treatment April work order summary. That's a lengthy one. And number 13, the Scriber water pollution control plant April work order summary.
You're still planning to do a delegation next month?
I guess it will move into next month. We were aiming originally for sometime around this week, but just trying to confirm the schedule that we can all be there. So we're aiming probably likely next week, maybe best time. I'll confirm.
Okay. So we'll move on to question period.
No questions.
You have no questions either? Okay, we'll move on into communications then.
I looked at number 17, request for resolution support from Township of Schreiber under the MFI PPA. And Nathan, is that something that it's a concern to Scriber as well?
We don't get too many MFIPA requests, but with that regard, the MFIPA regulation is rather, it does need to be updated. I mean, I think
Right.
a majority of municipalities probably share that perspective.
Okay, so I guess we should show support for that one.
I mean, I personally think that it makes sense. There's a lot of, it just is outdated, and the approach that the province takes probably in this, there's room to improve it.
Okay, we'll support.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about all I seen too. All right, hearing no more conversation, we'll move on to unfinished business, and that would be delegation requests for the 2021 AMO conference.
Again, what we currently have right now is we're aiming again to discuss funding for wastewater treatment plants, and that's going to be with Ministry of Infrastructure. I mean, the ongoing issue here really is that every municipality wants funding for infrastructure, and whenever funding is put out there, it's very competitive because everyone is trying to get it. And there'd be two opportunities where unfortunately we haven't got it, right? And it was the ICAP for, we wanted road upgrades, we didn't get that. We also didn't put it in, right, for the ICAP Green Stream. So we don't wanna keep on putting applications, right, and hear back, oh, it was very competitive, lots of municipalities applied, we could only give money to a certain few. We're just hoping like we can lobby to say, we need some dedicated funding for this. This is a issue that was brought about by federal regulations, and please help us fund it. So we'll keep on repeating the message. I don't know if there's any other issues that you'd want to meet with a minister, but if that's the case, let me know and I can add it. I believe the deadline's coming really soon though, so.
I think we,
Fourth.
fourth,
Okay.
I think maybe, I don't know which minister it would be, but festivals committee, monies.
Money for festivals? It's
Yeah.
typically under the NOHFC, so NOHFC is under Ministry of Northern Development and Mines, I believe. So
Okay.
Yeah,
that
that's
would be what it would be under if you wanted to discuss that. They have released some funding for festivals under the NOHFC. Other than that, I'm trying to recall which other ministry did it. It was some Ministry of Heritage and something that I believe provided money for us in the past too for festival funding.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's how we got the big movie theater screen and stuff like that. Is there another minister we should be lobbying to for the wastewater? Like, is there another stream of money we could tap into to try to get someone else involved if infrastructure is gonna hear the same plea from every municipality in Ontario? Like, is it an environmental thing? Is it a...
We have looked at it before through the Ministry of Environment, and their perspective was that they want to look in, their purview, they're saying, is more on the regulations itself.
Okay.
And this is again a federal regulation, so it's not something that concerns them at a provincial level, really. And you would think that, they could maybe have, they could lobby for some funding, but what I'm noticing is when we're trying to reach out to the Ministry of Environment, they're telling us to go to Ministry of Infrastructure, and meanwhile Ministry of Infrastructure is saying to go to Ministry of Environment.
That sounds right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, ultimately, depending on the problem, right, they may just redirect you to the same ministry. In the past, last year, it ended up being Ministry of Infrastructure, so they'll be well aware of this issue.
So should we try to get them both? So when they say go see the other one, we say, oh, we already talked to the other one, they say to come see you? I don't know.
The royal runaround.
Whatever, yeah, no, that's the only other thing I could think of, really, is if there was another way to
Yeah.
go about it.
Yeah.
But if that's been done, then it's been done.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it there next week.
Okay,
Have to be next week, yeah, it's quick.
soon, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, other business, there is none, so, nobody's in a hurry, eh? No, I'll leave that.
Professional.
Resolution 146-21, moved by Councillor Morrow, second by Councillor Stafuric, that the meeting now adjourn at 7:54 p.m. All those in favor? Carried.